Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about some challenging false friends and also the adjective endings that make people feel a little confused when they're speaking English. At the end of the video, we're going to do some practice and I will give you an opportunity to test yourself to see if you really understood the things I talk about in this video. Let's begin. We have a few words that get mixed up between Italian and English. Let's think about this word in Italian, noioso. Noioso sounds like a few different words in English. First, noioso can sometimes get confused with the word noisy. Noisy is rumoroso. A noise is like a sound that we hear. So when something is noisy, like for example, maybe you can hear that the street that I live on is noisy because sometimes in these videos you can hear a lot of noise in the background. So I have a noisy street. So noisy, not noioso. Forget that one when you're thinking about noioso. We have another word in English that sounds like it, and that word is annoying. This is the one that I hear confused with noioso the most often.
We interrupt this broadcast for some breaking news. This just in. The following is not completely 100% technically correct. It has been recently brought to my attention that noioso and annoying in the past were more similar than they are now, and that noioso in Italian can technically be translated to annoying. This was a public service announcement. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Annoying means that something is bothering you or irritating you. So if a mosquito, for example, comes into the window and flies in my face and won't leave me alone, that mosquito is annoying. It's annoying me. So it can be a verb and an adjective. This mosquito is annoying me right now. That's the verb. This mosquito is so annoying. That's the adjective. It's the same there because I said it in the present progressive. I am annoyed by the mosquito. So that passive form of the verb, I am annoyed by it, also becomes an adjective. I am annoyed, and the mosquito is annoying. So this leads to the question, what is noioso in English? Unfortunately, it doesn't sound anything like noioso, and that is why this is a tricky false friend. But the word that you want to say when you are thinking about noioso or annoiato is the word boring and bored, okay? So if I am reading a book and it's really not interesting and I want to fall asleep while I am reading it, the book is boring and I feel bored. Notice how all of these adjectives that I'm saying have two forms. Annoying and annoyed, boring and bored. I also said interested and interesting. Let me just stop and add a side note about the word interesting. It's written interesting, and sometimes people say interesting, but most of the time when we are speaking quickly, it sounds like interesting. Interesting, okay? So you can say whichever form is easier for you to say, but you might hear interesting more often. Okay, so I was talking about the two different forms that we have for adjectives. This isn't true for all adjectives, but there are many adjectives in English with these two forms. So let's talk about that for a moment because that is also something that is very difficult, and I hear people make this mistake often as well. What's the difference? The difference is that when we have an adjective that ends in ing with the gerund form, the ing ending, that adjective describes a person or thing that causes or creates a feeling in someone else. So, my example about the book. I'm reading a book and it makes me want to fall asleep. I don't really like it. I don't care about what happens in it. The book is boring. It is creating a feeling in me. It is causing me to feel this certain feeling. So the book is boring. I, as a result, feel bored. Now, a person can create this feeling as well. Like you could go see a presentation and the person speaking at the presentation could be an interesting speaker, or they could be a boring speaker. So if you feel interested in what they have to say, they are interesting. They are creating this feeling in you. They're making you feel interested and pulling out that feeling in you. Okay, so let's tie together all of these words into one example. So last night I went to see a movie, and it really wasn't a good time. First of all, the movie was really boring. I wasn't interested at all. I almost fell asleep. And to make matters worse, there was a group of people sitting behind me, and they were so noisy. They were munching their popcorn really loudly the entire time, and they wouldn't stop talking. It was so annoying. It was driving me crazy. Okay, luckily that didn't really happen to me, but I hope that you could see the difference of when I used each of those vocabulary words and the endings. Pay attention to those ing and ed endings. Let's do a little bit of practice now. Let's see if you can remember which word and which form of the word you should use in this situation. Okay? Situation number 1. You're a student sitting in class and your teacher is talking, but you aren't paying attention at all. You are drawing pictures on your notebook paper. What do you feel? The answer is bored. You feel bored. Okay, situation number 2. You're sitting on an airplane and you want to fall asleep. You tried putting in headphones, but you still cannot fall asleep because you can hear the children talking behind you and the flight attendant passing out drinks. And so you can't sleep because the airplane is too what? The answer is noisy. The airplane is too noisy. Okay, here's one that is an example of something I have heard done incorrectly a few times. You're writing an email and you want to tell someone that you would like to do lessons with them. You would say, I am blank. I am in taking lessons with you. Which of the words we said today goes here? The answer is, I am interested in taking lessons with you. If you say, I am interesting, you are giving yourself a nice compliment. So make sure if you are showing interest in something, you say that you are interested. And then we can say, I am interested in doing something with in after it to show that you want to learn more about doing that activity. Okay, situation number 4. Let's go back to the airplane with the children sitting behind you. One of the children starts kicking with your foot, starts kicking your seat. Okay, over and over and over again. Okay, you're getting very frustrated, you're getting very irritated. What do you feel? And what is the child? You feel annoyed. And the child is being annoying. Okay? I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any ideas for other words that you find confusing in English. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.